Hi, Tim here once again. A few weeks ago, I recorded a video all about dealing with issues that may arise within your organisation. Since then, I've had a couple of conversations around that video, but more to do with how we make decisions within our businesses. So what I thought I'd do today is to record, I guess, a follow-up video to that, all about decision making. So here are my 10 top tips. First of all, we have to accept that when an issue crops up, there's only three options we've got. We either have to live with it as it is, we either have to get rid of it, or we have to change it. That's it. Number two, and forgive me, is that we need to grow a pair, face it, and actually deal with it. So a lot of the time, the solution to the issue may be quite simple, but it's the actual implementation that causes the stress. But we've got to deal with these issues when they crop up within our businesses. We can't bury our head in the sand because we know full well if we do that, they're just going to keep coming around and hitting us harder each time. And I have to say that the fear, a lot of the time, is a lot worse than actually going ahead and doing it. Number three is that we need to accept that when we make any change, that we may have to endure short-term pain and suffering. That's just the way it is. So we may need to do that to get to make better decisions in the longer term. Number four is whatever you do, just make a decision. So Napoleon Hill, I think around 100 years ago, suggested that procrastination and lack of decision making within businesses was a major cause of failure. And I don't see that's a hell of a lot different today, to be honest with you. So at the end of the day, we have to make a decision. It might be the wrong decision, but we just have to make a decision. Number five is understand that you're not always going to be able to make a decision by consensus. So 70 to 80% of the time, you're probably going to get everybody agree, whether it's your management team or a board of directors, whoever it may be. But other times, the leader is actually going to have to make the final decision, and that's just the way it is. So not everybody may be pleased with that, but as long as they've had the option to voice their concern, they're just going to have to live with it and support you. 6 is remember that we're fighting for the greater good. We're looking at the bigger picture here. So egos, self-interest, emotion, politics, and any beliefs you may have need to be set aside. We're focusing on the big picture and what's best for the company. 7, I think, is don't try and change the world overnight. So if you have multiple issues within your organization, you just deal with them one at a time. Obviously prioritize them, but then just work on that issue and make sure you do the best job you can and make sure you make the best decision that you can. You will find by doing that is some of the other issues that you may have on your list will drop off when you actually deal with the bigger issue, because the smaller issues might be symptoms of the larger issue. Number 8 is don't rely on hearsay and secondhand information. So we always want to deal in facts, not opinions when we're making decisions. And we need to include everybody that needs to be there. They need to be in the room and they need to be able to voice their opinion. Number 9, I think now, is that we want to resolve the largest issues first, obviously. So human nature is that we're going to go for the easiest option, but that's not the best option. So this is very much the concept of eating frogs here. We want to actually jump out of our comfort zones and actually deal with the biggest issues first that take the most amount of work. And then number 10, the final one, is that once you've made a decision, then obviously we've got to see it through. So how are you actually going to resolve the issue? So we don't want to be sitting around here debating this now for weeks. Again, we need to make a decision on how we're going to do it. We don't want to overanalyze, but we need to involve the people that need to be involved, and someone or a team or whoever it might be needs to take ownership of dealing with it, and then we need to put time frames in place. So look, decision making in your organization, it's not necessarily an easy thing to do, but at the end of the day, it will save a lot of pain and it will save conflict in the longer term. Also, if you're making good quality decisions and you're actually taking action, your team will respect the management for doing that, and they will actually feel like they're being led, and all of your team want to feel that. As always, if I can help with implementing your decision making in your organization or anything else, then please don't hesitate to get in touch, and I'm always happy to help. See you next time.